All right, I think we're ready. We're ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together on the stage. The funny, the hilarious Mr. Toby Halligan. Make some noise. Give it up.
Sorry, I feel peer pressured into twerking, and that's not going to end well for anyone because I'm wearing bad jeans. How you going? Yes, you're good. Yes. You got double fingers. That's good, or thumbs, as some call them. Whatever. I'm very good. I'm very good every day I'm in Melbourne because I'm originally from Canberra. What the fuck was that? One person in the back of the crowd's like, this guy must be retarded. Look, it's a bad place, but it's not that bad, yeah, right? It is the all-Australian city. It's got Sydney's public transport, Melbourne's weather, and Hobart's incest, right? It's fun in that respect, right? It likes to kind of mix things up. So I did grow up in Canberra, which was not ideal because I'm also one of the gays. I'm part of the gay club, and I'm a bad gay because I think as a gay man you need to be raised by a flock of gays, right? Otherwise, you need a flock of gays to raise you, to teach you how to do things like go to the peel properly and stuff like that. Otherwise. You do the kind of things that I do, and you go to the peel wearing double denim, you know, and that's a fashion crime. And the bouncer's like, Jesus, look what the 90s brought in, right? And it's awkward. It's awkward, it's upsetting, no one enjoys it, no one, right? And I used to commit these kinds of fashion crimes all the time in Canberra, right? Like I was at a gig, and my fashion uniform at the time was, I wore like a denim jacket, there's a theme here, denim shorts, theme, and really bright red Crocs, right? And I'd just performed, and I was in the toilet standing at the urinal, and this big guy walked in, and he didn't walk in like he wasn't doing capoeira as he came in, and he stood next to me at the urinal, and he kind of looked over and he said, "Hey man, that was quite funny, but that's an interesting outfit." And I said, "Oh, thanks man, I'm gay." For the record, the urinal, one of the worst places in the world to tell someone that you're gay. It's up there with in the middle of a rugby scrum, or during your own wedding, or from the back of a canoe, right? Right? So everyone settle in. He didn't say any of that though. He said, "You're gay, mate. You should be ashamed of yourself." I said, "Why? Are you a homophobe?" He said, "No, mate. Crocs. You ought to know better." And he really said it with this I'm not angry, I'm disappointed tone in his voice. And I was extremely upset. You know, I was like, screw you, big guy. You can't make these judgments on the basis of my, sexuality. You can't make these presumptions about me. I didn't say any of that, of course. I curtsied and I blew him. You know, I know my place. And that is, after all, a traditional farewell amongst my people. You know, that's how we roll. It's how we roll. I really enjoy living in Melbourne. One of the things I like the most about Melbourne is trams. I like especially maverick tram drivers. One of my favourite tram experiences happened very, very recently where, I don't know why, but the tram driver decided he was going to announce each stop like a really bad 80s DJ. So we're like, next stop, Swanston Street. That's Swanston Street. Next up, right? And, me and all the other hipsters like, oh my God, this is amazing. Gonna go home and blog about this, right? And then he totally took it to the next level. It became, next up, Burke Street. That's Burke Street. Next up, oh yeah. That is a totally different thing, isn't it? And I think very courageous. Because what if you forget about the route that you're on? Next up, Northcote Primary School. Oh yeah. Oh no, right? As a gay man from Canberra, I am inherently un-Australian. I don't think I'm on Team Australia. I don't know, do people have heard about Team Australia, like the Tony Abbott kind of thingy, yeah? Is anyone here on Team Australia? You've got blue hair, you're definitely not on Team Australia. I don't know why, but I just know that's a thing automatically, right? Blue hair, Jesus Christ, oh my God, they're going to poison the children, right? Because that's what it feels like. That's why you create teams, yeah. You create teams to beat people. What are you guys doing? Are you playing pokies right at the front of the crowd?
It's not my string.
Oh, well, fair enough then. I apologise for interrupting your poking of the man.
Thank you.
You got shitloads of string. For fuck's sake, how much string do you want? There. See, conflict resolver. Anyway, where the fuck was I? I've totally forgotten. So I'm kind of constantly obsessed about different kinds of Australian things, and I think I saw one of the most Australian things in my life recently. I was on this tram, and there was this extremely drunk dude standing next to one of the doors, and the doors opened, a whole bunch of people got on, And just before they started to close, this incredibly drunk guy who'd been swaying back and forth for the whole tram ride suddenly stood really straight, turned around and took a metre step to the right, stood right in the middle of the doors, looking perfectly out of the doors, standing really straight. He began vomiting out of those doors. Projectile vomiting. And I don't mean like, I mean he just stood straight and and the whole tram was just transfixed watching him. It was incredible. And the doors start closing, they start closing, and the doors start closing, they start closing, doors closing, just as they close, he stops. And the whole tram burst into spontaneous applause. It was fucking amazing, right? You know, a guy walked up and gave him a beer. You know, there was a guy with his kid there. That's how you do it, son, right? It was fucking beautiful. Because right now it seems like kind of, you know, in Australia, because of the Team Australia stuff, people are really obsessed with racism and discrimination and different kinds of things like that, right? And because is anyone here from Brunswick? All the people with multicoloured hair at the front fucking around with string. Where are you guys from? You're not from Brunswick, are you? Oh, right. I was hoping, oh my God, we're totes different. Jesus. Oh, look at these Brunswick douchebags. Oh, we're slightly closer to the city than you guys are. I am... You guys will be able to relate to this then, because look, racism is a big problem in Australia. I like to think I'm not racist, but I had this little moment where I realised that my friends around me are so left-wing, I become paranoid about this stuff, right? Right, because I was getting on a tram and I saw a group of Sudanese guys, or, as the Herald Sun would call them, a gang, right? Now, I had a moment where I realised I would totally prefer to get mugged by a group of white people than a group of Sudanese people. Now fucking hang on before you judge, right? That's not because I want to keep the mugging jobs in the white community. I don't support the Mug Australian campaign, right? I just realised that so many of my friends are so left-wing that if I got robbed by a group of Sudanese people, my friends would probably side with the Sudanese people. Well, gee, Toby, they probably had to get a leaky boat all the way from the Horn of Africa to Indonesia and spend years and years in detention, and they had to spend an extended period of time again at sea, probably being mistreated by people. Then they had to spend time on Christmas Island. Now they have to probably live in some fucking racist shithole like Frankston, where the public transport and services are terrible and they get mistreated by police constantly. And you're here complaining about a bruised collarbone and a lost wallet? You fucking racist! Whereas if I get robbed by white people, it's just like, oh, fucking Collingwood supporters, huh? Am I right? Am I right? It's just easier, you know, it's just so much easier. I had because recently, I don't know whether you guys have noticed this, but people are a little upset about the burqa. I don't know how people feel about the burqa. Yeah? People aren't sure? You're not sure? People aren't sure, right? Well, one of my favourite things recently, because people are convinced that it's going to be like a big security risk. Like Cory Bernardi is this Liberal politician, came out recently and he said, we've got to ban the burqa. We've got to ban the burqa. Because if we don't ban the burqa, people are going to go into banks wearing the burqa. They're going to pull off an armed robbery and they're going to be able to make a getaway and no one will be able to identify them because the power of the burqa. Now look, I don't know how you feel about that, people of the revolt, but to me, if you can go into a bank in full burqa, pull off an armed rob and make a getaway on foot without peripheral vision or the ability to run, you deserve double, man. Are you fucking kidding me? How Australian is that bullshit? You are channeling the spirits of Ned Kelly and Farlap all at the same time. That shit is unbelievable, right? But also, where does this kind of anxiety about women in burqa misusing their anonymity come from? Like, is that a big problem? I've never been walking along late at night when suddenly from behind some bushes there emerges a woman in burqa. She punches me in the face, kicks me in the balls and runs off kicking. You don't know what I look like. You pursue her, pull the burqa off. There's another burqa underneath. Ah! Babushka burqa. Oh. Oh no. Bad. I think what's happened here is that Cory has mistaken women in burqa for ninjas. A totally legitimate anxiety. A totally legitimate one. But a fake one, right? I'll leave you guys on this. I recently saw the most Australian thing that's ever happened to me. It was on Australia Day, and there was this extremely inebriated bogan attempting to get into a pub, and he wasn't being let in by the African bouncer. He was going, "Oh, come on, mate, let me in." He was kind of like falling over, like, you know, barely standing up in his thongs. And the bouncer was like, "No, sir, you cannot come in. You're too inebriated." And the guy said, "Fucking come on, mate. It's bloody Australia Day. Let me in. You gotta get into the spirit of it." And the bouncer didn't miss a beat. He said, "Very well. Fuck off. We're full." Thanks, guys. I'm Toby Halligan. Have a great night.